right, let's talk about Insidious: The Red Door. Not a huge fan of this series. I prefer The Conjuring. I prefer, I have not seen all of the Insidious films, but my whole take on Insidious is it's jump scare the movie. Because this, and I think the Insidious films are kind of PG-13. They're not super gory, and I've not been. Now I am a fan of Patrick Wilson, and Patrick Wilson did direct this one, which is interesting, but I'm not a super fan of this series. So his character Josh Lambert basically drops off his son Dalton at school, where he ends up with, oddly enough, a female roommate who ends up becoming his buddy. And Dalton is having all these bizarre dreams. You find out in a flashback at the beginning of the movie, they kind of had a year deleted from their brains as a way to cope. And the dreams become nightmares, and there's sort of a blurring between reality. These sort of demon spirits end up haunting Dalton while he's at school, and he's seeing people who died in horrific ways, including one kid who died in a horrible hazing accident at one of the fraternities, kind of comes back, in front of him in this awful sort of like, basically he's yakking into the toilet to death, kind of. But these demons and spirits manifest and whatnot, and it's Patrick Wilson and Dalton kind of dealing with it. I did not love this movie. I think it's very mid. I think that the Insidious films are kind of mid anyways when it comes to horror. I thought that it's just filled with jump scares, and it just didn't blow my mind. And it was mostly, here's the thing. I realized, like, why am I not like super in love with this? Because I actually really like horror films. I'm looking at the audience, and the audience is all teen girls. It's lit, and there were 3 teen girls sitting right in front of me that were looking at their phones, that were loud, that were making jokes. And guess what? It made the movie better. It actually, I didn't mind. Normally I'd go like, hey, could you turn off your phone, please? Or could you, I get like this, courage whenever I'm in movie theaters. It's dark. I don't care if you're doing something that's disturbing the film. No tolerance from me. But these girls just kept making jokes, and they were laughing and goofing, and it actually made the film better. So I thought it was forgettable. Even I'm kind of even struggling to remember a lot of parts of the plot. It's just sort of one scary thing to the next scary thing, with sort of an innocuous thing that they have to do. Patrick Wilson effectively has to save his son from these demons, and Lin Shaye shows up at the end. I love Lin Shaye. There's a, just want to put in a quick plug. There is an interview that Alan and I did with Lin Shaye. She was on the channel. Just look up Lin Shaye. Love her. You've seen her in so many films. She's fantastic. So she's part of the Insidious series, of course. But when we interviewed her, she was talking about there's something about Mary, and in it you see her bare breasts. The Fairley brothers let her keep those breasts, and she showed it to us, framed. She had them, the prosthetic that she wore. I don't know why this says so few views on our channel, but we just sort of put it out. But yeah, check it out. We have a new Film Threat interviews channel. So go to the Film Threat homepage. You'll see interviews, or just look up Film Threat interviews. Please subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get that channel monetized, and check out the Lin Shaye interview. But it's one of those things where I didn't even hate this movie. I just sort of was like, and it was over. That was it. That was that. I mean,
what is the attraction of this franchise then? It sounds like a lot like Nightmare on Elm Street.
You know what this is? It's training wheels for beginning horror fans. That's what the Insidious series is. It's not particularly bloody or gory. It's deals with family and kids. They are, I just think that they're very middle. This felt like a film that should have just gone to HBO Max. Just go directly, past the theaters, just go directly to HBO Max or Max, whatever they're calling it. So the budget was 16 million, and it shows. It just, everything about it just seems, I mean, I will say at least most of the effects were practical effects, so I have to give it credit for that. But this movie is, I don't think, honestly, I don't think it's going to beat Indiana Jones this weekend. As much
Yeah, but it'll make more money than Indiana Jones.
I don't know though.
At 16 million?
It was made for, oh yeah, yes. This movie was made for 16 million, you know, in its theatrical run and then going to Max. It will be more profitable than Indiana Jones, 100%. Will it beat Indiana Jones? I don't think so.
No.
And I think also Sound of Freedom and Joyride, the other films that are in theaters this weekend, I think they're going to do much better. I think Indiana Jones will drop. I don't know if it will drop out of the number one slot. That I can't say. I mean, if Sound of Freedom gets like a big boost, and by the way, if you want to be encouraged, go look at the comments on the Sound of Freedom video that was recently posted on the Film Threat channel. Just read the comments. I was reading the comments. I responded to a few of them.
Are we getting canceled?
No, but it was an amazing conversation. There were only a few people, but I didn't realize how much controversy there was behind this film. It didn't feel particularly controversial to me, but you know, I digress. But Insidious, The Red Door, do not recommend. 4 out of 10. And I think it's going to, but I do think because of the budget, it will be a moderate success. So, and Alan, I know you're not even really a big horror fan.
Not really.